You are listening to The Michael Lodge Show. Wealth, business, and taxes. Oh yeah, and some politics. Let's get started.
And good morning, this is Mike Lodge. I am so happy it's Sunday. I love Sundays because I have that tradition. Even though I'm alone, I live alone, I do my business alone, I do almost everything alone except for 3 dogs. But I don't mean to say that I'm alone. I'm just saying that I live alone, I am here alone, but I do get out into the community because I am a mediator, so I am meeting people all the time. But on Sundays, I've always had this tradition, and it started when I lived in Los Angeles because I had so many people around me. I knew so many people. Everybody knew that on Sundays, when I woke up, I was making breakfast. And they knew that they were invited over, no matter who they were, to get breakfast. This started a tradition a long time ago when my parents were still alive and they had some friends. And every Sunday morning they would call up and say, "Hey, listen, we're making breakfast. Come on over." And I always remembered that tradition of those people because there was always somebody new that was having breakfast with us that morning. We got to know new people. So, unfortunately, when I moved into Palm Beach, that's when lockdown happened. So I moved here, getting unpacked, getting my offices set up, but I didn't have the ability or the chance to get out there and meet new people. And the reason why is because we were locked down. We were literally locked down. And then we got going, and then my business was going, my mediation was going. I was doing all of my mediation here in my home, off of this microphone, in this small office. And I've been working with people ever since. But I haven't made any close connections because things just changed in the way that we communicate, the way that we move around in our society, in our communities. It just has changed. And so you look at those changes that we've made and you feel kind of morbid because we have forgotten how to reach out to other people and touch other people and talk to other people. Now, as a mediator, I hear all kinds of stories. I hear sad stories. I hear happy stories. I hear all kinds of different life changes that individuals and families and businesses have gone through. And we try to bring a resolution to whatever dispute or conflict that was there. So I love my job, and that's the best part of my job. I was watching on Facebook this morning. I woke up and I was tired. Well, let me tell you what happened on Thursday. I don't know what possessed me, but I was taking a shower, was getting out of my shower, and my foot did not touch the carpeting that normally stops wet feet from sliding. Well, I did not touch that carpet, and my leg went out in front of me. I remember in the slow motion, it was like a movie in slow motion, twisting and turning and then landing right in between the bathtub, or the shower, I should say, and the toilet. And I remember as I was hitting the ground, I hit this metal thing that I keep next to the shower, and I hit that, and then my right arm hit the top of the toilet seat and literally cracked it in half from one end to the other end. So I was coming down at a good speed, and as I was moving down in slow motion, and I finally got down to the floor, and I remember, oh my gosh, my mind was moving fast, but the view that I was moving in slow motion. But my mind told me, you know what, Mike, your head is going to hit the back of the wall. Are you going to survive this, or are you going to be knocked out? And I felt my head click, clunk, hit the back of the wall. And I was okay. I was still awake. But my body was twisted in between 2 items. So I finally got up. I got myself out of that situation somehow. And I tell you, from Thursday evening until yesterday, or even this morning, my body was in pain, literal pain, because I had gotten, I think, every part of my body hit and bounced around and smushed and whatever else happens when you fall. Now, this morning I have more oomph. I've got more strength to get up and move around. I am really surprised that when you fall in slow motion. It's like you are just literally floating down, but your body's going really fast, but and your mind is going fast, but your eyesight sees this whole experience in slow motion until finally you bounce around and you finally get into a position where everything's stopped, and then you say to yourself, oh, okay, I'm okay, I made it. Unfortunately, there's bruises. There's bruises that you get, and you say, ouch. But you got to get up, and you got to get going. And that's one of the things about life, is that you don't let things break you down. You don't let things stop you from moving forward, no matter how bad the situation may be. Now, I'm up and at 'em this morning. Got up and did my traditional Sunday breakfast, and was very thankful that life is still here, that life still goes on. The other thing that I was amazed about, as I was watching Facebook this morning, there were a lot of stories about individuals. And I don't know how it came to me. Maybe because it came to me because I needed to see it. But there was a lot of stories where people were changing their lives, and they were giving up so much to help within the community that they lived. And some people even went from one community to the next community to see what they could do. I've always said in all of my podcasts, when we've had these riots and we've had all of these demonstrations and all this hate that has plummeted us into a situation where now we don't trust anybody, which is a sad situation. But during all of this mess that we have had in America over the last few months, almost a whole year now, I've always said, if you want to make a difference, you got to start within the community that you are in. I mean, there are some churches out there who you probably don't know who are feeding so many people who do not have a place to eat, who do not have a place to live. But you have these volunteers who are moving in, and they're going to the marketplace, and they're getting the cheapest potatoes that they can get, the cheapest carrots. They're trying to get whatever they can get on a personal level so that they're able to feed those individuals who have no place to stay. There are individuals who are volunteering their time at places where people are like in halfway houses where they are trying to recover from abuse, or maybe trying to recover from mental health, or trying to recover from drugs or alcohol or some addicting source. And there are literal volunteers in there just lending an ear so these people have someone to talk to. These are people making a difference in their community. There are individuals who are talking to places where they are literally trying to guide these individuals that are lost. There's a lot of lost people out there. But they're lost, and they need just a little bit of direction. They just need that helping hand, that helping ear that listens and tries to make their lives, these individuals who are trying to start again, help. And there's all kinds of help. There's listening help, there's financial help, there's just sitting there and making a batch of brownies. So there's individuals who are making mashed potatoes to go with whatever meal that they have enough money to prepare for those individuals in that community. I heard this story one time about this individual who decided, I got to make a difference today. I got to do something in my community today. So he went down to the local McDonald's and he bought 100 hamburgers, 100 orange juices, 100 French fries. And McDonald's put them all in sacks and got them ready to go. He paid them, took them, and then he went down to Skid Row and began handing them out to people who looked like they needed help. That's a simple project, simple thing to do. It may not be the most nutritional meal there that they can provide, but it's food. They can live one more day. I remember also that I always liked Floyd Mayweather as a boxer. Floyd Mayweather has a charity of his own, and he also packs up lunches. And they make all these lunches and put them in paper bags with a drink and heads down to the homeless and makes a difference in their life for that one day. Now, you might not think that one day is very much to be helping out, but let me tell you, if you do that once a month, you make a difference in someone's life for that very day. Think back of someone who made a difference in your life for that one most important day. How it lifted you up. How it made you feel that someone cared about you for that one special day, one special time, one special moment. It keeps people going. It keeps people saying, okay, maybe someone does care about me and I can keep moving on for that next day. I don't know if you've ever done this, if you've ever volunteered for the Salvation Army on Thanksgiving Day. I tell you, that is a moving experience. I remember one time I did it for Thanksgiving and we fed 400 people. 400 people in one day. The point of this moral of the story, I guess, is that we have a lot of ability within ourselves to reach out to the community in which we live in. There may be a child who is having tough times at school because he can't bring his homework home because his parents don't speak any English. They can't write English. They can't speak it. There's a great team out of Loma Linda, California called Excel, and it's been around for a long time. And what they do is that they adopt one child in a public school system for one school season, and they tutor that individual on arithmetic, on English, on writing, on whatever it may be, on history. And they literally spend their time 2 times a week helping this child. Now, you would be surprised at how much good that comes out of that tutoring, that volunteering. What is an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours to spend with a child that needs your help in your community? There's also those individuals out there who are older, who don't have the help or the family available to take care of their just basic needs of going out and buying food for them, going out and mowing their lawn, bringing them flowers to say, hey, how are you today? There are so many people within our communities that have no one to talk to. And that brought something to me as I was falling on Thursday. But since I'm new in Florida, I don't have any friends to reach out to. Now in California, in Arizona, and a whole bunch of other different states, I have people to reach out to because I've grown up with them, gone to church with them, gone to school with them, been family friends with them. They have been employees of mine. There's so many people I can reach out to on the West Coast. On the East Coast, I am alone. And let me tell you, my 3 dogs, they don't care. They will just come up and lick my face. But then I thought there are other people out there. But let me go back and say, I have I'm in a place where there's only two of us living in this building. And I take the full top floor and she takes the bottom floor. And there's another person that lives with him. And I've kind of taken on the role as security guard for the building. And trying to make sure that all of us are safe in this building. And so I began to think as I was doing my slow motion aerobics on Thursday, I thought there is a lot of people out there who don't have anybody to talk to. I was watching a video this morning where there are so many elderly people in communities where they just have no one to talk to, no one to chat with, no one to tell their story to, no one to give a good recipe to, no one to talk about their grandchildren with. And I think that if we reached out, or we said, listen, I'll go and visit you one day a week. I'll go over. You have an elderly person living in your community who may need your help, who may need your ear. In mediation, we solve a lot of things by just listening. We solve disputes, we solve conflicts, we solve family matters just by listening. It's so important, this art of listening. If we just donated our ears just for a few hours a week on our lunch break, just calling up an individual who we know, and maybe they need to reach out to someone. You can eat your sandwich and talk to someone at the same time. What I'm saying is, reach out to someone that needs your ear. I am totally motivated on this subject only because I remember when I was in college. One day a year, we went out into the community and we volunteered our time on individuals' homes. And I got to be with elderly people who did not care for their home because they just could not do it any longer. So the weeds had grown up, the wood on the stairs had rotted, the paint had faded and was peeling off. We would go in and we would completely make that home a brand new home. And these people were so happy because as we worked, we listened. We heard their stories. We heard their experience of life. And that one day a year that we spent doing that, because the whole college did it, the whole university did it. It wasn't just a bunch of us. It was a whole bunch of us. Over 1,000 students that participated that one day in one little town called Walla Walla, Washington. You see, when you are able to give of yourself, sometimes you don't have the money. We as students, we didn't have the money to help these individuals. But the student association had collected enough money that we could buy paint, we could buy sanders, we could buy rakes so that we could go out there and help our community. But sometimes it's just the time that you spend just raking some leaves or mowing a lawn or trimming the hedges or cleaning the house. Maybe even making a dinner for them. Just that time. You see, it's all about time. Just that time made a difference in that individual's life. And it makes a difference in your life also as you are doing it. At the end of the day, you can look back and you're going to maybe even shed a tear because it's not a tear of sadness. It's a tear that, my gosh, we really did something good today. We made a difference within our community. A lot of times right now, because we have grown up in a selfless world, in the self world. In other words, everything is about us. And sometimes we forget that it's not about us, but it's about those individuals that live next door to us. It might be the individual down the street who you have heard have lost their job, or that elderly person that's living 2 doors down from you who spends the majority of her or his time alone. It's just that time that makes you feel that you have contributed to your community. You see, to make a difference within your community, within your neighborhood, within your city, it means that we have to give back. We have got to touch those individuals by doing something for them, by taking our time to give to them. At some point in time, you're going to be at that stage where you may need that help. Remember that. But right now, you have the ability to make a difference. You have the ability to create change within your community. So many times we get so caught up, and these organizations pop up, but they literally do nothing for your community except harass your community, create stress within your community. But stress goes away once you have given something or your time to some individual that truly needs it. All of these organizations, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, all of these anti-American situations or topics do nothing to help the community. It is the community that helps the community. It is you that makes a difference in your community. If you want change, create change. If you want a community that works together, then work within your community. You churches out there who are doing a terrific job at providing lunches and direction to these individuals, and maybe just a little bit of prayer to these individuals who need it within your community, I love you guys. Those of you who have the ability to cook for someone who needs it. Those of you who have the ability of listening, listen. Those of you who are handy with your hands and know how to fix things, fix things. But do it within your community so that they know that they've got a community who has their back. It's amazing. When you get involved within doing something from the heart, other lives change. So on this Sunday, I know that we have spoken a lot. We have spoken a lot in the last over the last 4 years of doing this podcast, of working within our communities and doing something within our communities. Doing something within our community churches, within our families, and within our neighbors. I've talked so much on that. So I encourage you one more time, and I'll do it more times, but one more time I encourage you, get involved within your community. Find someone that needs your help. I don't care how grouchy you may be. I don't care how mean you may be. I don't care how disappointed in the world you may be. But if you give back to someone that needs your help, all that badness will go away. Because you're giving something from the heart. You see, the heart can wipe bad things away when you do good for other people. So, if you have the ability to do something, if you have a talent that can help someone, use it. Don't waste it. Use it. Remember, it starts within your community where you make a difference that can change a community. Not government, not social welfare entities, not state, not federal, nobody. They cannot make any change, but you have the greatest amount of change right within the talent that you possess. So on this Sunday, I encourage every single one of you, go out, make a change in your community. Listen, if you like my podcast, my vlogs, my blogs, help me out by becoming a follower on www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. Again, that's www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge, LODGE. I have all of my blogs, vlogs there. They're all there. All my podcasts are there. They're there for you. So if you like me, follow me there, because I really need to get more followers, and I would love to have more followers, knowing that I have you all in one central place. Because right now, my podcast is on iHeart, it's on Spotify, it's on Google, it's all over. It's over 20 publications that goes out and publishes this podcast every day. But I want to know that you, my friends out there, are with me. And just go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Michael Lodge. And listen, if you've got a business question, if you've got a mediation question, if you have a conflict that you want to talk about, send me an email at mediator, mediator at lodge-co.com. Again, that's mediator at lodge-co.com. I'm there. I'll answer them all. I always do. Everybody go out and have a great day. And remember, you have a talent. Put it to use in your neighborhood. Talk with you soon. This podcast is produced by Michael Lodge, fully focused on content.